Hi everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. It's Thursday night, and every other Thursday night I jump on with a technique. On the alternate Thursdays, I have a mystery challenge for you that I post. But tonight I am sharing a shaker card. I talked about this on Sunday when I went live. And I made a card using the Scary Cute bundle. And I mentioned how I thought it would be great for a shaker card. And so I said I would come and show you how to make a shaker card. Now there's lots of different, there's a few ways to make shaker cards. This is one that I'm going to show you. I think over the next couple of weeks, maybe, I will show you some other ways to make shaker cards. Some are a little easier than others, and a new one I'll leave to the end that I learned very recently from a team member who actually saw Patty Bennett make this card. So let's get started. Again, I'm using the Scary Cute bundle, perfect for Halloween, and so we'll get started. Oh, hello. Hey, Catherine. Somebody's coming in from North Carolina. I'm not sure who that is. So don't forget to go out to streamyard.com/Facebook and give permission so that I can actually see who's commenting. Let me know where you're coming from. All right, so this is the Scary Cute bundle. It's just so adorable. Love the silhouettes. And then these are the dies. Kind of a mess at the moment. What I loved about these dies is this particular one. So it's kind of like a window, and it's got a bunch of tree branches. And then there's I used this the other day, the kind of Harry Potter castle. And then I'm using this tonight, the Scary Cat, a whole bunch of bats, which is great. And then this moon, and then a nice label die. So that's the bundle. And now let me bring in my supplies. So I'm using purple and black. I mean, what could be more Halloween-y than purple and black? I've already kind of gone ahead and cut some of these out. So my black, hopefully, I just pulled it out of my drawer. Grabbing my cutter. Let's just make sure. This is the card base. No, yeah, I thought it looked just a touch wide. So this is actually cut now to 5.5 by 8.5. And I'm going to score it at 4 1/4. Score it, not cut it. All right. And as always, grab your bone folder. This is the line I scored on. So this is the raised line. Fold into the mountain or the raised line and give it a really good crease. Okay, now this is Gorgeous Grape because I love purple and black together and it's really Halloween-y. And I have gone ahead and embossed this using the bricks and mortar embossing folder. Makes it kind of look like a kind of a castle. And I'm going to, this is one of my favorite techniques with this embossing folder in particular, and I know I've used it, is I'm taking some of the craft ink. So this is the pigment ink. It's thick and goopy. And I'm going to take a sponge dopper and I'm just going to pick up some. And then I'm just going to kind of apply. It just really pulls out the bricks. You can start to see them. And you don't have to I'm kind of applying different pressure in different spots. So you get some of the bricks being whiter than the other. There we go. So we've got, so it just makes those bricks pop. And I know I've told you this before. When you buy this ink pad, it comes uninked because they used to have issues with it leaking all over the place. And like I said, it's really thick and goopy. So you get an uninked, this is an old one. You get an uninked ink pad and a bottle of the liquid glue. So just really shake it well before you go to ink up your pad for the first time. Okay, so we've got our first layer that is going to go on to our black. Now, I went ahead and cut out, oops, things are falling, cut out this window shape with the trees. Now, the way I did this is I took a piece of basic black cardstock and I layered these two dies. So this die will give you a solid shape. So if I had just cut this out using that, I would have had a solid black shape like that. But by putting this inside before you run it through and cutting it, you end up with it cut out as well as the trees. So it's a really easy way to get that cut. Die makes it. And then the second thing I cut just with this die is I've taken a piece of window sheet. So this technique I'm showing you for shaker cards, you need window sheets. So if you don't have a window sheet and you have some of the old, and I'm going to show my age, the old transparencies, those work as well, but you do need something that is clear. So the window sheets that we sell are 12 by 12, and I think you get at least two pieces. And so that is what I'm using. Now, this is the embossing buddy. So this works really well for removing the static when you're going to do heat embossing, but I like to use it when I'm going to be using sequins or something in a shaker card so that they are free floating around. Otherwise, they get very sticky and will stick to your window sheet. What we want to do is adhere our window sheet onto this piece. So this is the first kind of step, is getting your window sheet on to this shape. Now you can do all sorts of shapes when you do shaker cards. So it doesn't have to be something like this. You could do circles put together and create an opening. You could even create an opening on a piece of basic white, something like that. Now, one thing to remember is I find it really hard to get adhesive off of a window sheet. So try not to get too much adhesive on, otherwise you will find it really hard. So now you probably can't see that, but I have got, oh, there we go, you've got the glare. So got my window sheet on. So the next thing we want to do is use, these are the foam adhesive strips. They come, they are 9 1/4 inches long. And I've actually taken and cut them into 4, just so I've got a little bit of smaller. If you want, you can cut them in half, but for whatever project I was doing, I cut them in 4. So I'm just going to take one and run it along the bottom and then trim that excess off. Now I want to make sure that the window sheet, you can't see the window sheet. There we go. And you want to make sure, so we're going to have a little bit of an issue with this. I didn't really think this through. A little bit of an issue as we're going around these corners, but we'll worry about that in a minute. So we'll get it on the sides and the top of the bottom. Again, you don't want your window sheet to be showing, or not your window sheet, your adhesive foam. So this is creating the barrier so that your sequence, or whatever it is you're using, won't fall out. So again, I'm just putting it all around the sides to start. And now I'm going to take this little piece, and this doesn't have to be in kind of in the circle. So we just don't want this to be seen. So it can go straight across and fill in that gap like that. Now let's do this one. So again, we're just going to take and fill in that gap. Make sure if your sequence is big enough, you don't have to get it right up, butted right up against. But if you've got some really small sequence that could fall through the holes, you do want it to be kind of that whole spot filled. Now this one I'm going to cut this in two, go that far with it. So this one piece was a little short, so I will just put this in like that. So basically you're just filling in all of the gaps so that your sequence doesn't fall out. Okay, there we go. Now, let's get it going the right way. So this is now going to go onto your card like this. But before we put it onto the card, we're going to actually fill this or put some sequins into it. Now, one trick, don't fill it too full. You will find, I'm going to pull this out of the way because I'm actually seeing my adhesive strip behind the window. If you fill it too full, your adhesive foam will let go, and you don't want that to happen. So don't overfill it. Okay, so we're going to turn that upside down, and when we put this on, we're actually going to put our layer on from the top, because otherwise we will spill all of our sequins that we're going to be using. Now I am going to use, these are the Sparkle and Shine sequins. There are a number of sequins. I thought these were kind of cool because they, even though they're kind of maybe Christmassy, but they've got stars. I don't have a lot left in this, so I'm just going to put what I have left. Now, the other thing I cut is there is dies for these little bats. So I'm going to take the two big ones out because I took two. That's a medium one. So I cut, there are 3 dies, so I cut 3 or 6 of these bats out. So I'm going to put those in. So you don't always have to just use sequins. You can actually use die cuts. And the one die that is really cool to make, you know, something for a shaker card is the dots and spots. So if you've got that, it cuts out a piece that's about, you know, 4 1/4 by, or maybe 4 by 5 1/4 of all dots, cut out dots. And so it's great if you save all those dots. They work really well for sequins. So gently, I'm pulling the backing off. Now, one thing I can see going to be a problem is I've got my sequins kind of popping out here as it moves around. So make sure you don't want your sequins to be on your adhesive. Otherwise, it stops it from adhering. So I can see I'm going to have to kind of just, you want to control your sequins, I guess is what I'm saying. And I've got some rogue sequins going here. This will cause your adhesive, these foam strips to lift. And no matter how much I try, it is hard to kind of keep these from moving around as you kind of bump and move this. But we're going to do as much as we can to get these out of the way so our foam strips actually adhere and seal. There we go. Take your pick tool is perfect for this. Now, of course, I've got them over here. This is not trying to be gentle and not wiggle things around. A couple probably won't hurt, but if we've got lots, then it's going to definitely cause a seal issue. And you will suddenly pick up your card and wonder why your sequence has fallen out. It's because it's either you've got filled it too full, or you've got some sequence that has. Okay, let's see if I can do this without, hold it down, without letting it kind of jump up, which is what it was doing, is popping up. Gently. So this is, I'm going to say this is, I won't say it's hard because it's not a hard card to make. It is probably may be the fiddliest shaker card. The other shaker cards techniques that I will share with you over the next couple of weeks are, I think, much easier than this one. So stay tuned. If you're going, oh, this is way too much for me, I encourage you to give it a try, because I love shaker cards or shaker tags. We had a team party, and we made shaker tags using the Celebrate with Tags bundle, which is so much fun. All right. Oh, my goodness. It keeps bumping. That's my problem. Maybe if I put my finger in there and hold it so it doesn't jump up, that might work. Let's see if we can get these out of the way. Oh gosh, I didn't silence my phone. Sorry about that. Okay, I think I'm going to declare victory. Okay, it's not completely done, but hopefully it will seal. Okay, all right, so now I'm going to take this, I'm going to turn it upside down, and I'm going to put this so that it is hopefully straight. Let's actually put that straight so that we can get it, and then we'll hopefully get in the middle. I don't want to turn this upside down because all my sequins will fall out. Now I'm going to press this fairly hard. I just want to make sure that I have sealed all around, and then turn it over. And now we've got our bats and our sequins floating around. Now I probably could have got this a little farther down towards the bottom of the card, but that's okay. And I've got sequins all over the place. Okay, what? Oh, there it is. So this is the metallic mesh ribbon. I love this ribbon. So I'm going to take and cut a piece that is probably about 6 inches, because what I want to do is wrap it around like that and adhere it to the back. So I'm going to take Stampin' Seal. I just find that when you're doing ribbon, it just works better. And we'll turn that over and wrap this around to the back like that. And now I like, when I've got ribbon on my card base, I like to use Stampin' Seal because I can actually put some Stampin' Seal over the ribbon and hold it so it doesn't kind of come out. Make sure I've got my opening going the right way, like that. Okay. Now, I already pre-stamped and cut out the sentiment using I've used it. Hey, Betty, welcome. This is cut out of basic white. I've stamped it with Tuxedo Black Memento and then cut it out with the label that comes with the set of dies. And then I'm going to just take, and I was going to put this here, but it kind of hides my shaker. So I think I'll put my black cat down lower. And I'm going to use the black mini dimensionals. So I talked about these the other day. Stampin' Up sells black dimensionals. They come in a package, a combination package of the large ones and the small ones. And they are great for when you have dark cardstock that you're wanting to pop up so that you don't see the dimensionals underneath. There we go. So we will take and put our black cat there. And then I'm just going to use regular dimensionals on the back. And again, I always stagger my dimensionals so that the middle of my sentiment doesn't sag. So I've got one kind of above the other. And then we will put that on like that. And now I I've got sequins all over. Well, that's funny. Okay, and then I cut out one large bat and one little bat, and so I'm going to take mini dimensionals, and we will pop these up. Hopefully, I can get. I might have to cut these. Let's see. Oh no, I think I can actually. These minis will definitely fit on this one. I might have to cut them for this next one. There's 3 sizes of bats. So you get 3 of the dies for the littlest size, the smallest size, and you get 1 each of the medium and the large. So I'm just going to take a mini, black mini dimensional, and because the regular size will not, it'll be too big and then you'll see it. So let's get, okay, so let's put some bats on. And let's put one over maybe like that. And then the last thing that I grabbed are, maybe I've got enough black on here. I grabbed, these are the matte black dots. I actually think I have enough black on here. I think what I'm going to do is afterwards, I'm going to put some rhinestones or something on here just to kind of maybe brighten it up. It's got the shimmer from the shaker card, but I think it just needs some rhinestones, and I think these black ones are just too dark. All right, let's stamp on the inside of the card. So I've got some tuxedo black, and I've got this little guy. This is the little guy with the light. So we will just take and stamp him in the corner. And then I've got this now. This is the boo stamp. Oops, upside down. All right, there's a good reason why you always test your stamp, especially if you don't have a label on it like I don't. Always test it so you get it going the right way. That wouldn't have been good. Okay, so now we'll take, and I've got some liquid glue. Almost out here. I might be out. No, I think I've got enough to. No, I'm going to have a lot here. All right. I like to, if you get big kind of globs of glue, spread it with something. It could be a sponge dauber, it could be your finger. But what I find is if you don't spread it out, you will have kind of raised spots on your cardstock, or on your cardstock. You will see the adhesive behind it. So that's why I took my finger there. I don't like glue on my fingers, but I didn't have anything else handy. All right, so there we go. I have to clean up my glitter after my sequence after. So there's my card. So that's my first shaker card technique, using the window sheets, using the adhesive foam strips, which are really handy, not just for doing this kind of technique, but if you've got a long, narrow piece of cardstock or something that you want to adhere, these work really well. So there's my first card for Halloween. So stay tuned. Over the next couple of weeks, I will show you 2 more techniques for shaker cards. Probably the next one I'll do will use a the clear medium envelopes that we have. That it's a really easy technique for a shaker card. And then the last technique that I'll show you will be the frameless shaker card. And so one of my team showed this on a team meeting recently, and everybody loved it. And she saw Patty Bennett make them. So I'll make a variation on one that I learned from my team member, Nancy. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me tonight. I will not be live on Saturday. It's World Card Making Day on Saturday. So if you're not part of my World Card Making VIP group, you can find that information on my Facebook group, or you just leave a message and I'll put the link. Maybe I'll just put the link underneath this video if I haven't already. But we're doing, Diane Evans and I will be live from 9 a.m. till about 12 noon Pacific on Saturday morning, World Card Making Day, doing some demos. So we won't be doing make and takes or anything like that, but we will be showing you some different techniques. And in fact, as I think about it, if you join us, then you will actually see the frameless shaker card. So you'll see that ahead of me showing it on one of my lives. So I'll put the link underneath this video if you're interested in joining us. Again, it's from 9 till 12 on Saturday. And then if you've already registered for the Stampin' Up! World Card Making event, the free crafting event, which starts at, I think it's 2 o'clock Mountain, 1 o'clock Pacific. I think I've got my times right. So if you've already registered, you should have received an email with the link for that. And there also the cutting instructions are posted on the Stampin' Up! My online page. You just go there and find the World Card Making event. I will be back live on Sunday at 12 noon Pacific, so I hope you join me then. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me tonight. Hope you have a great evening. Happy stamping. Bye.